Hello, everybody, and welcome to my very first edition of New Moon Insights. I'm super excited for this to happen. It's been coming for a long time. And my very first guest with me today is Dylan. He is a human design expert, and I met him, I believe it was in 2018. He had already been working with clients. But we got introduced through a mutual friend. And at the time, I was the owner or the co-founder of the Healing Collective. And we asked if he could do a class for us. And that was, I believe, your very first class.
It was my first workshop, yes.
Yeah, it was so good too. It was sold out and so successful that we did another one on relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, how many more would you say you've done since that time? I mean, we started in, I want to say September of 2018.
I mean, that's really when it all kicked off for me. That was such a special, powerful happening in my life because I had already been in human design for like 9 years, just holding on to this information and just seeing the world and loving it so much. And then boom, suddenly I was being asked to share it with all these new people. And since then, I've probably done at least 10 more workshops, and as well as online things and my programs and now my DNA Alignment Academy. And so it's just, that was kind of like the seed moment of all this success and growth. So
Yeah, for sure. And I know why. I mean, when I was introduced to human design, I had no idea what it was. And that first course that I took with you was such a game changer for me. And I'm going to have you explain a little bit about human design because, of course, you'll explain it better than I do. But I don't think I know what I share with people is that it gave me permission, right?
mm-hmm,
So many of us are trying to do the square peg round hole thing.
mm-hmm,
And it doesn't work because we're all unique and we're all different. And it really gave me permission to be like, oh, I don't have to try to do that because I'm not meant to be doing that. I don't
mm-hmm.
have to respond that way because I'm not meant to be responding that way. It was just such a big eye-opening and heart-opening and every opening, experience to me. It was just so fantastic. And then of course I took a lot of online courses with you during the pandemic, which
Mm-hmm.
were also super beneficial
Mm-hmm.
because I was just a lady in waiting at the time, which is what my design is supposed to do. I'm supposed to respond. So I was just waiting to respond at that time. And so I just can't say enough about human design and your guidance through so much in the last few years. So I'm just going to let you start by just letting us know a little bit about what it is, just an easy summary for people to grab onto.
Yeah. So human design, key like phrase I would say is the science of differentiation. So it's really about being able to, in a logical way, in a visual way through the body graph, see your unique differentiation journey. Who are you here to become? And more importantly, how do you go about that? And that's why I love human design. Is it's not just another way to classify ourselves and another label and another chart to look at. It's actually about navigation. It's about understanding that we all have unique mechanics, these inner workings of how our energy flows in within us and without us and into the world and how it connects to life. And if we have these core keys that we call the strategy and the inner authority in human design, then we're empowered to make decisions that align and respect and give us more of who we really are, as well as as soon as you make that aligned decision, you're also kind of getting rid of unbecoming a lot of the stuff that you've had to become out of like that circumstantial adaptation to life.
Right.
So it's purifying our frequency, it's purifying our vibration, it's putting us into contact with the pure forces of creation that move through us and the universe. And it opens us up to a whole new life, potentially. So
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of it. And I love that it's actually practical. And that's the main thing it's always been for me. Like the selling point is that you're not just getting more stuff to have your mind munch on. It's actually like, how do I make an aligned decision? Well, here's how. And each type and each authority has its own process.
Beautiful. Yeah. I thank you. That was so much better than I could have ever done. I would have gone back to, well, it's a combination of the I Ching, the Kabbalah, that's where I would have gone.
The 1-3 way, because you're
Yeah.
a 1-3 profile. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So, what I want to do today is just ask you, like, so we're in this moment where so we're in the new moon is in Leo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we know about us, for us as individuals, um, with the new moon in Leo in relation to human design?
Yeah, so this new moon is actually falling in. So when we look at human design, we talk about it in terms of gates and how at any given time, the planets of our solar system are in a given gate and they're activating the themes and the energy of that gate. So this new moon, in which the sun and the moon will be in gate 31. Gate 31 is the voice of leadership, actually. So obviously a very Leo energy. It's about being seen for your intentions. It's about being seen for your integrity. It's about being seen for the pattern that you've created up to this point. And the pattern can be the pattern of how your business functions, the pattern of how you conduct your energy, the pattern of, it can be so many things, but there is a sense that we're being recognized in this new moon for what we've built and what we've created, and kind of the cycles that we've kicked off and how that reflects our leadership ability or not. And I say or not because everything in human design is a dualistic in nature, meaning that it holds space for the optimum expression of that energy, and also the fact that that may be completely absent at that time, depending on the different people that we are, the uniqueness of our story.
Right.
So the new moon obviously being this opening, this kind of gateway into a new cycle of perhaps manifestation, or at least recognition and awareness, is saying to us, okay, see yourself, see yourself for who you made yourself become, or like who you built yourself to be.
Mhm.
And be authorized to authorize yourself to really like be like, yeah, I did do something really cool. Even if that really cool thing is just surviving and keeping your mental health intact over the past 2 years, that's still something to celebrate. And that still is something that informs you and empowers you to have a certain kind of stance in terms of leadership. You know how to go through a process.
Mhm.
You know how to really engage and get the results in some area of life. And this is a logical energy. So it is the kind of energy where we want to make it obvious. We want to make it clear. And that's very Leo too. It's not hiding anything. We want to just lay it out there like, look, here's the pattern I've mastered. Here's what I'm qualified to lead. And the voice of gate 31 actually speaks with, I lead because ...
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, whatever that is for you.
Yeah,
And
authentic.
this reminds me of what you're creating so much.
Yeah. Yes, very exciting. Thank you. No, it is definitely an alignment for me. And, I just wanted to touch back on the thing that you said, leading with authority or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's important for people to realize that we go through different cycles in our life, and there may be times when we're not there, right? We're in a mode that we're not generating, or we're not in our leadership. We just need to be in a different space. And then there's also people that aren't meant to be leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people think of leaders as somebody that's like leading a charge, but it's you're speaking to something that's much more subtle and detailed for an individual, correct?
Mm-hmm. I
Mm-hmm.
think subtle is the right word for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Because in essence, we kind of all are leaders in our own little way.
Mm-hmm.
But we have these mental kind of prescribed definitions of what a leader looks like and what it needs to be, and all the things that go into that. And the that's kind of the human design spin that I want to emphasize, is that it's all about uniqueness. It's not about what the world defines as a leader. It's about, again, looking back at your own experience and seeing that in some way you've gone through a process that has brought you closer to mastery, that has brought you closer to knowing how to just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
A process of, and then once those things are really ingrained and embodied, and once we're actually in the embodiment of what it is that we're all about, or what we love, or what we're focusing on, that's when we become the leader. So, and it's through role modeling, a lot of leadership, especially as we move into a time in our history and in our evolution where it's so much more about the individual focusing on their way of their unique navigation of life. The leaders are going to be the people that have just been showing up for themselves, rather than people who are trying to solve all the world's problems with this big initiative or this big mission. That's not actually how the world gets saved. It gets saved and healed and even made better by individuals following the beat of their own drum, essentially. And this is kind of this moon. It's like, this moon is like you're beating a certain kind of drum, and there's going to be certain people that hear that unique music and want to follow you. And so if you are somebody that is, has a platform, or is a speaker or a teacher or a guide or a healer or a light worker, etc., this is a really potent new moon for now that we've moved through these 2 years of massive restructuring on every level. Now it's like, okay, we can come up for air a little bit. Like we can kind of bring our head back up and be like, okay, it's safe. I'm here. Like I'm here to be counted. And here's what I'm here. I lead because
Yes. Well, so it's so interesting that you already went there, because my next, question, if you will, was, there has been so much going on globally, obviously outside of the pandemic. There's just been so much upheaval, destruction, all of it. Like I can't even, we can't even say it. And you and I know that there's going to be a lot moving still, as you would say, through, is it 2026 or 2027?
2027.
Yeah. So just, stepping out of the new moon itself right now, globally, how can we utilize human design, right? How can we move forward utilizing human design in our life with the globe, with what's going on? Does that make, am I asking?
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question, because this is really what human design came into the world for, was this time period. This is a system that only came into the world in 1987 or 1986 or 87.
Yeah, it's new.
And while it's new, it's comprised of ancient things, which make it timeless.
Sure.
But it was specifically given to humanity in a way for this time period, because of the great upheaval and challenges that we're going to face and have been facing, because it gives us a way to navigate through the storm. And it's about understanding that one of the core pillars of human design is our body's intelligence is the driver and our mind is the passenger. And the second that we start making decisions from the mind, which is based in all this pressure and fear and all these different viewpoints and what this mainstream media is pushing and what we think is happening and what we don't know is happening, there's just so much complexity that the mind can't even really get to the truth. It can only kind of guesstimate. So if we're navigating these really sometimes dangerous times from a place of just guesstimating, we can wind up wrong place, wrong time, and it's not pretty. So how we move through is by tapping into this inner authority, because the inner authority in our form, in our vehicle, in our body has a direct relationship with all of life itself. So it is tapped into that creative life force intelligence that just knows things on a deeper level. And it's not even know is not the word, but like is just managing everything in a more aligned way. And we're not getting in our own way and interjecting or jumping too soon out of fear or waiting too long out of hesitation. It takes care of all of that for us. And we come to this realization or this experience, hopefully, of actually experiencing that the body is navigating. It does know when to go, where to go, with whom to go or not. And by understanding your design, or at least even having that first exposure to your strategy and authority, you have the tools you need to navigate safely through the chaos.
Yeah. Wow. That's so, it's just so perfect. When I say perfect, not like, we have to be perfect, but it's just so perfect for what's happening right now, because as you said, this comes from a very logical place. You get your human design, what's happening in the body, right? And I am working with people listening to their body, listening to their intuition, and making a practice out of it, right? So that it's sustainable. So I just love kind of the combination that's coming together for me as I'm swirling through my mind, and I can feel it in my body too. It just feels just, like perfect timing right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So, so we're gonna wind down. So I want you to tell me, I know that we can find you on Instagram at Human Design Maven. And I know that you also have hdmaven.com where they can find you in your website. But tell us a little bit about your DNA Academy, because it's coming up again. You said the 13th?
Yep, August 13th. We're going to launch it. This will be our third time moving through this 12-week curriculum that I created to there's a lot of information in human design. There's a lot of complexity in the chart. There are many layers to the chart. And so in order to not be overwhelmed with all of this new stuff, I created this way to break it down. And it's actually almost like a journey through your own body that teaches you human design along the way. So week by week, we kind of go into this inner journey through our own different energy centers, and we become intimate with them. We become, we take a step in their shoes, so to speak, and we kind of see through the eyes of these different hubs of consciousness within us. And along that way, we also kind of, in an organic way, pick up all these amazing pieces and these facets that allow us to drill down into extreme detail and have these very astute analysis of, certain blocks or certain situations or certain solutions. So it's all really about attuning your DNA to its highest frequency. And that's what human design is really doing by giving us this authorization and confirmation. So DNA Alignment Academy is the name of the game. And we start August 13th, 12 weeks of interactive learning and community-oriented kind of masterminding in a way to share our progress together. And, when one person asks the question, it helps everyone. So there is just that beautiful group aura that gets formed, and I can't wait to begin.
It's amazing. I'm so excited for you. And so also, Dylan is going to be a part of a course that I will be starting right around the fall equinox. It's called Human Spirit Development, and we'll be really basically just advancing the evolution through utilizing intuition and some self-care, and also in a group situation. So it'll be a hybrid course. And I'm super excited to have Dylan jump on with me in that, because there's so much, like I said, that I've learned from human design that I use on a daily, if not a weekly basis. And of course, when I share it with other people, I don't have the language that Dylan has. I can just share how it has helped me. So I'm really, really excited to have him work with me. It's been a long time coming, and he's just the perfect collaborative partner. So once again, hdmaven.com, or you can find him at Human Design Maven on Instagram. And I would also put his information in the link in my bio so that you can find Dylan. Is there anything else you want to add or throw out there, or are we feeling complete?
Happy new moon, everyone. And, all the love and luck and blessings, and owning your leadership voice, or maybe letting yourself off the hook. Maybe it's not your turn to lead right now, and that's also an empowering place to be in. So
yes, thank you for that permission, as always.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Be well, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.